Hello everyone, and welcome to this new video. Today, I want to test the actual effectiveness of the bunny paw. Let's see if this item is really worth the grind or if it's just a waste of time. As you know, it is supposed to give us a 10% chance to get better rewards from the special boxes. On paper, it sounds like a decent boost for our progression, but we are about to see if the math actually works in our favor. First, let's equip Victor's ring to increase the overall duration. Combining these two items should give us the best possible window to maximize our results and see how many special rewards we can actually pull off. Since they are not useful for today's video, I am going to fast forward through all the bonus stages. Let's skip the unnecessary parts and jump straight to the rewards to see if this item actually makes a difference. Okay, let's see what the next one has in store for us. This one actually looks promising. It seems like a pretty good run. Let's see if our luck is finally changing and if we get the rewards we want. Even though, on its own, it doesn't really do much to move our money counter, it feels like we need a much bigger combination of multipliers to actually see a noticeable difference in our overall gold. I wanted to check the exact drop percentage for the boxes, but honestly, it doesn't even matter. At the end of the day, it's completely random. You can look at the stats all you want, but the RNG decides everything anyway. Oh well, let's also take this opportunity to grab the buff from the special drink. If we are going to test our luck, we might as well stack as many active bonuses as possible and see if anything changes. Every little bit helps. When the system is this random, you just have to take every single boost you can get and hope for the best. Paradoxically, the best buff of the session just dropped completely on its own, totally independent of the rabbit paw. It just proves my point that this item isn't doing much, and the standard random system is the one running the show anyway. I'll take this opportunity to maximize our total output. Let's see what we can actually bring home with this massive boost. Active. And if it saves this session from being a complete disappointment, at the end of the day, something actually moved. In the end, it was somewhat worth it. It's nothing phenomenal but it's still a decent result considering how unlucky we were at the beginning of the test. I know you might say it is only a 10% chance, but hey, it is still better than zero, right? My expectations are always pretty high when I grind for these items, so I guess I can't help but hope for a massive payoff every single time. A 39 times soul multiplier sounds like an absolute bomb, but to be completely honest, it doesn't do much at this specific level. Plus, because of how I distributed my stones of time, my active stats are currently very low. It shows how much the overall balance matters compared to just a single big number. Welcome to gambling. This event is so incredibly frustrating that I don't even pay attention to it anymore. I just do it and that's it. It has become pure muscle memory at this point. You just cycle through the repetition without even hoping for a good drop anymore. It fails so many times, and the actual success coefficient is so alarmingly low that I really need to stop caring. If it happens, it happens. It literally took me a whole year just to craft a single one since my last attempt. Grinding for a year just to get crushed by bad RNG is just wild. I actually did the math. 16 successes out of 3,210 attempts. That is not 10%. That is less than 0.5%. The ratio is absolutely broken. It is a straight up slot machine mechanic, and the odds are clearly rigged against us. If you think this item is bugged too, let me know in the comments. Here's a quick pro tip. If you are stuck on the quest to kill 1000 of these souls, the game actually counts them as regular mobs. This means that your kill multipliers work on them. You can use the mace, the 2 staffs, and the armor to increase your kill count and finish this tedious quest much faster. Stacking these specific equipment pieces is the best way to bypass the slow grind. Make sure to put them on before you start farming. It saves a massive amount of time and gets you straight to the next reward tier. I was also thinking that it might be a good idea to use that other item that increases the box spawn rate. Its duration is much shorter, but it definitely helps. Let's equip it right away and see if we can force more boxes to appear. When you stack it with everything else, it is the only way to maximize our chances in such a short window. To be honest, I'm not very confident about this. Even if we increase the box spawn rate, the duration is just too short and the material consumption becomes absolutely incredible. It burns through our hard-earned resources way too fast, and the return on investment might just not be worth it in the long run. I know that farming materials to craft items is literally the whole point of the game, and to be honest, I just love having my inventory completely full. Maybe I'm crazy or just a bit compulsive, but seeing stacks of resources gives me a great sense of satisfaction. It hurts to burn them all on a short buff that might not even pay off. At let's give it a try anyway. It doesn't cost anything since we are already here. I want to test this out and see if we can find a way to finally break through this wall. The progression is truly nerve-wracking right now. Even if the growth is at 100%, it still takes me a whole week to reach it, or hopefully push past it with a bit more. It would probably be better to use the ring here as well. Stacking every available bonus is our only chance to maximize the efficiency of this run and see if we can get a decent results. The requirements are actually pretty demanding because these feathers are definitely not free. They require a lot of active farming, and burning them for a quick test is a big gamble. Let's see if this heavy investment is going to pay off or not. Even with a 40% boost, the numbers stay pretty much the same. Nothing spectacular or mind-blowing is happening here. It just shows that these in-game percentages don't really mean much in reality. At the end of the day, you are still completely at the mercy of the standard random drop rate. Honestly, a simple 3% increase in mob spawn from using the sword feels way more noticeable than this 40% box boost. The extra monsters actually show a real difference in the gameplay loop, while these huge box percentages just feel completely fake and don't seem to change our actual rewards at all. This is the only event worth doing under these circumstances. I must say, the bunny paw does give some results, but it's not exactly that different from a standard lucky run. You can easily get the same outcome, even without equipping it, which makes you wonder if it's really worth all the trouble and materials. Of course, I can't completely rule out the possibility that this slight improvement was actually caused by using the item itself. It is hard to say for sure with such a random system, but we have to keep that option open. At the point I'm at in the game, you really have to squeeze every single drop out of it. You need to throw every possible weapon and multiplier at the system just to slightly push your maximum earnings. It is a tough wall to climb, but that's the nature of the grind. The only real way to increase our gold and maximize the earning limits, even with all possible combinations active, is to ensure our shield is always completely capped. Without a maxed out shield, you are losing a massive chunk of passive multipliers. We actually got quite a few multipliers, so I have to say it is very satisfying, much better than you might think. Since the run is almost over, I don't expect any more to drop, but it was definitely worth trying. It is not the ultimate definitive option to break the game, but it definitely raises our overall average. So, final thoughts, is it worth it? Probably not. But I will keep using it anyway, because every little bit helps to break through this wall and reach the Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or doubts. I am always here to help you out. Bye.